Good evening, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Newbury Zoning Board of Appeals. It's Thursday, August 1st, 2024, at 7:30 p.m. We're here at the Newbury Municipal Offices, 12 Kent Way in Byfield, Mass, second floor hearing room. We have Chrissy Beaupre, who's our administrative assistant. I'm Eric Swan, the chair. We have Mario Cavalli, Michelle Wheeler, and we have Jack Kelly. So, with that, we're going to open the meeting and have our first call to order for the public hearings.
Okay. George and James Simas Realty Trust, 5 Cinder Avenue. The applicants are requesting a special permit finding for relief from section 97 4G 5C01, increase in square footage, and 02 upward extension of the Newbury zoning bylaws, and any other permanent relief as may be required under the town of Newbury's zoning bylaws to allow the proposed project in order to raise the existing non-conforming single-family dwelling and garage on the lot and reconstruct a new single-family dwelling on the property located at 5 Cinder Avenue, Plum Island, Newbury, Mass. 01951, accessory map U05, lot 82. Continued from 7/18.
Thank you. As Chrissy is taking duly needed meeting minutes, if you need a moment, just say, please hold, or can you repeat that, or whatever it takes so that we don't blow by things and rush to encumber you and get, your time. We like to try to make a nice process for everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Could you speak up?
I will.
Okay, so the hearing was left open because we knew that there were some revised or updated documents that were going to be submitted to us because we had found a few tweaks in the documents to get them correct. We had some issues, and so we had to continue the meeting for tonight. So with that, we have received additional information. We're going to close the hearing. I guess first we should probably just review the material and double check it, then we can close the hearing, then we can get to it. We made a motion to draft a motion, we have that draft motion before us, and then we can review that draft. As I recall, there were some technicalities where things just weren't exact, and the site plan may have been done, and then some of the documentation may have been done and calculated, and so things were very close, but again, not exact.
There was also an issue on the height, Mr. Chairman, I think, elevation, and it looks like the applicant was kind enough to cooperate and reduce it to 34.8 per our request. So, shout out to him.
34.8 and 1/8 instead of like 34.11 and like 3/8 in terms of just barely meeting it, so there's some slight tolerance.
Yeah, well, give himself 4 inches or 3 7/8 of leeway.
And the mean grade is on there, the height is on there. Shows the highest grade, lowest grade. All right. That was correct. That was a 1. in the application reflects that as well. So maximum lot. And the okay, so the drawings now match the application forms. Okay. So has everybody had any time to review the documents, the revised documents?
Yep.
Is there a motion to accept the revised documents?
Make a motion to accept the edits made to the draft documents.
Great.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
All right, so with that and with the revised documents being accepted, we will close the public hearing. We will then move to the draft of the decision for the motion that was made last time.
Sorry, do you have to make a motion to close the hearing? Or is that after we review the decision?
Technically, we open
Yeah.
the
Okay.
public hearing, we read it, and technically we say it's closed, and we haven't traditionally voted to close the public
Okay, sorry.
hearing. Nope, all good questions. Good job, keep us on point. Okay, so in reading the draft, saw that there was one communication from Jack about the voting members previously by email.
Did we get that clarified? I think, because I was absent one meeting, I think Michelle
Oh,
should be
that's right.
the voting member.
Yep.
If you are the member, and let's just say there's several meetings, and you miss a meeting, you could make up the meeting by watching the recording of the meeting. You get one shot at that. If we started a meeting and I couldn't make it anymore, and Michelle could watch the first meeting and then be part of the voting proceeding, you get one meeting like that. That's my understanding. If we're into it and it's all set and we're locked up down the road, then we continue or call another meeting in order to get the right people here.
Did you see these edits here?
I didn't do that, but I will fix it. So Martha offered us some of her comments and suggestions, so I just printed it out.
Put Martha down for the volunteer thing too.
I do agree, is part of the the actual history is that the applicant did submit an application. It was reviewed and it was voted on favorably. They missed the deadline in which to act on the special permit. And so they had to go through the effort of refiling the application, of which we received and heard. I don't know if it actually then has any bearing,
I don't think it does.
because what is in front of us and what we've made the motion on is the new application and the new drawings, and even if they were the old drawings, they are current drawings with current dates, and that's what we're acting on. If there were some other nuances to the time lapse condition of use, it might be very important, but in this case, and they did make some slight changes, so we're really talking just about the application that's before us now.
Okay.
It Might be nice to know, but it has no bearing, so I guess I just leave it out.
Okay. If anybody ever questioned it, it'll be in the file, one after the other. The 2022 submittal and then the 2024 submittal.
If we had rejected the old one, and then they had come back with a new one, then it would have relevance as to
Yes.
why they were here again.
Okay.
Are the submitted material dates current with the dates of the newer documents?
They did not change the date, they used the old plans. So some of the dates on the plans are from 2022, because some of the items stayed the same.
But these documents that were revised have the older date on them?
Yes, there's no revised dates on the plans. I just noticed that this afternoon, I have to talk to Doug about it. Matthew's blue like a minor, addition where it would have been revised.
Yeah, it should have been on
I
this.
know, it's not in the column where they mark it and initial it. Even though they've been revised. Some of them have to stamp on
Can you
revised.
just take these documents and the ones that are gonna be the originals to be filed and just put today's date on them?
Yes, I have a zoning stamp downstairs, I can do that.
So stamp every single drawing.
Yep.
And then 2 weeks from now, there won't be confusion of piles of paper or people walking in with stuff. You'll have a set of stamped drawings, which are the originals.
Okay.
All right. What else did Martha say down here? Two special findings, C number 1. The front setback of the proposed structure will be increased and will become conforming. Deleted in granting the special permit.
So the first one, she wants to delete if the special permit is granted and
Oh,
replace it with
okay.
in granting, I think, is what's
I
happening.
think it's where it says deleted.
Yeah.
Then if the special permit is granted, it's going to give us the new verbiage, I believe.
If the special permit.
So on the last edit, part 4, decision 4. What she's proposing is to delete other than those approved by the zoning board of appeals. So any modifications to the structure by the applicant, by the town of Newbury, by and through its building department and/or conservation commission, or by other boards or committees shall require modification to this special permit. You're talking about any modifications, and then it says, other than those approved by the zoning board of appeals. We wouldn't be approving modifications unless there was another meeting and another decision, right? I think I was kind of hung up on that last time, and then was trying to figure that out. And it's not necessary to say that we approved modifications. We approved what was in front of us, and anything thereafter by anybody that changes it shall require modification to the special permit.
In other words, they'd have to come back again. Yeah.
And
that
so
makes
we're
sense.
we're not talking about us, we're just talking about everybody else.
Right.
And we wouldn't as a group receive and make modifications. Someone would come back and propose modifications, which would be obvious that would require a modification to the special permit.
Yeah.
I think also any modifications to the project, like not just the structure, right? Because it might be something with the landscape, or it might be something, or the setbacks, which isn't, right, like structure sounds like it's just the building. Or it could,
Well, the structure changes, the setback changes, but the structure could say the same and move on the lot, and therefore it changes.
yeah, so any modifications to the property, or proposed or
Project?
project, yeah, that's what I think I first said, right, project. Because it might not just be structure, right?
Agreed upon project specifics.
Any modifications to the structure, comma, or any, what I'm trying to say is any documents, any and all any modifications to
Those submitted
The original special.
project documents.
the, what's the definition of project documents, but any modifications to the application,
The original.
project documents of the structure or the property covers it all, I guess. Because what we're trying to define what this pile is.
Yeah.
Pile of, we could say site plan, we could say building elevations, we're trying to sum it all up into a word.
Project.
So what is it, project documents, structure, and property? I think that's what you said, right?
Application, project documents, or the structure or property.
Documents, structure, property, okay.
You just say any modifications to the approved project.
I think that covers everything.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And what was approved? Well, you have an application and you have drawings.
Right.
Yeah, the project is everything listed in the front here as submitted materials and information, like that. That sums up the project, right?
Yep. Is that clear?
Yep.
And that is the draft modification that goes forward with the next one.
Yep.
All right, and then in the fine print here, comment TB2.
It's almost what we just addressed.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we've strengthened. Any modifications to the project documents attached to the approved motion, approved decision?
You say that again, please?
Any modifications to the project documents attached to the approved decision? So now the documents are linked to the decision. Okay. Thanks, Martha, for that.
So I have permission to use your signatures to approve that decision?
After we
Could make a motion.
Okay.
Okay, any other edits, comments on the motion? Okay, is there a motion to accept the decision with that?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept the edits made to the draft decision.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
All right, so it passes. Okay, so now let's talk about the procedural of signing the actual motion. Chrissy will draft it up. I think if you could email it, and then people can return an email saying that they provide permission for you to use their electronic signature. And then what you can do is you can save or make a PDF out of that email
Mhm.
for the record, and then you have proof of authorization every time we go through that.
Yes, sir.
Because you don't have blanket approval to use a signature anytime. We have to formally do it. So if, when you get an email from Chrissy with the file, read it once, and then if you would kindly reply to Chrissy, and just to Chrissy, and just say, Eric Spahn, provide you permission to use my electronic signature on this decision.
And am I voting on something? Or, no, I'm not, okay. As usual.
Right?
I thought it was the other- I actually thought it was Michelle.
Yeah, it's Michelle, Eric, and Mario. I
It
messed
says
up
in
on
the decision,
signature
it
page, yeah.
says
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, we just talked about that at the
Yeah.
beginning.
Just want to make sure I know what to answer Chrissy.
Yes.
So that, yes, you
Yeah.
can say. So she's not sitting there like waiting for me.
Okay, I'll leave
You
that out of that
already
email.
Remember, sorry about that.
I always come, whenever Chrissy calls, I come right down and
Yes,
sign.
he does. Usually brings Finnegan.
I do bring my dog,
We
yes.
enjoy that.
Aw.
So we don't have a meeting on the third Thursday of August.
Mhm.
We will have our meeting on the third Thursday of September. And there we go.
September 19th.
And then with the last, so that hearing is closed. Public hearings new, none, other business, Cricket Lane project status and update. There were final documents that were issued. Martha sent me a copy, if you'd like a copy, a digital copy. You know, Martha, you can get the 30 megabyte file of drawings. That's the update, as I understand it, when did they come in to sign? Was that 2 weeks? That was last week?
That was last week,
Yeah, so,
2 weeks ago.
talking to Martha, so the Cricket Lane was like half cleared. Should be almost all cleared. Might be worth a drive-by. Everyone would stay familiar with it.
Yeah.
How often are they giving us updates, did they say? We will ask
Peter for updates since he's now the enforcing building inspector. He's got the building permit and it's under a building permit. And we have our checklist, which was mostly closed out, and we can review that checklist next time and see what else is on it. If they are proceeding and it's now in Peter's hands. There was a meeting on site that I went to one morning, and it was before anything happened. And DPW was there, Peter was there, I was there, Mark was there, Walter was there. And it was okay, so we're gonna start, and we're gonna do this. And he handed out names of contacts to Peter, asked Peter if these were one permit or individual permits. We talked about tree clearing. His subcontractor that does the work was there, and they had worked together before. It wasn't like they were trying to figure this out for the first time. Peter said, you know, I expect to get some calls, because I typically do when things like this happen. People aren't aware until noise is made. You know, here are the operating hours that you work under. I mentioned that I said I'd like to double check that there's actually a speed sign on Pearson Drive, just to make sure all the truck drivers, because we're now inviting people that aren't part of the neighborhood or part of the community to be doing work here, and just reminded him that he's working in a neighborhood with kids and families, and he needed to release that. And that was that. And then last I saw Peter last week, he said, I haven't gotten any calls. So everyone was aware of what's going on, and it's coming. Yeah.
Can you clarify your comment on the number of permits? Did you mean, I mean, each house is a separate permit, right? I would think so.
I don't know. No, I think it's one permit, and he'll sign off on units, but it's technically one permit. Could be something like that.
Yeah, whenever we do multifamily, it's usually one permit for the whole project.
Wow.
Really?
And then we do like temp COs to let people go into the houses as they're complete, and with a final CO at the very end to close out the whole project.
Interesting.
I think it's a matter of like having, 24 numbers versus having one number with a sub-list, which is a way to keep track of it.
So they have checkoffs, they must, like, for foundation inspections and
Yep.
framing and insulation, okay?
They might each get their own card, but they're technically under one permit.
I see.
Yeah, so there's probably just one set of drawings submitted for the whole project.
Very good. Happy to know that.
Yeah, and it's in Peter's hands. He's the one to enforce it. Okay, and then the next meeting date is September 19th, and then we also have, what are these meeting minutes?
Meeting minutes from last month, I didn't add them to the agenda because I didn't know if I'd get them done in time. But your copy, the only thing new on your copy is the first 2 pages. What is attached is the decision for 31 Rolfs Lane that was already approved. But I mentioned that, approved decision attached. So on all the meeting minutes submitted, they will have a copy of the approved decision for each project during that meeting, so that it's a complete set moving forward.
And we have to accept the minutes.
That would be nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. So
And then I can post them to the website.
please take a moment and review the meeting minutes. And Larry wasn't at the meeting.
based it on the guidance that our town council sent us. Have to have meeting location, who was present, who was absent, what time you opened the meeting, what was discussed, and what time the meeting was adjourned, what the motions were, who voted, things like that. So I printed off their email and I put it by my desk and I followed their requirements.
Seems very straightforward. Okay, I have no comments to the meeting minutes.
I have no comments.
Okay.
So, is there a motion?
Make a motion to accept the minutes of the meeting of July 18th.
Is there a second?
I will second that, Mario.
Great. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent job getting the meeting minutes done, and,
1 month.
yeah, and we're on our way. Did everybody get the email with the open meeting law?
Yeah.
Did everyone get a separate email from Gretchen on the open meeting law?
Yes.
Were you gonna send
think so.
some information about motions and things?
I didn't know if it
like
was gonna come from Chrissy, but I guess I have it, I'll just send it.
Oh, what is this? I'm sorry.
There were two,
that? Seminars or something?
two seminars, I guess the Merrimack Valley Planning. They were given by town council's law office. They were $15. I signed up for them. I was able to do the first one, work out in a way at the second one, but I have the slideshow and I have the handout. So I'm gonna copy you all on the slideshow and the handout. One was just running a public meeting, and the other was drafting a good decision. So I was, if you can, print it. If you can't, we'll ask Chrissy to print it, but I think it would be something that you'd like to keep in your book. And if you read through it in tab, there might be a moment in a meeting where we all need to open it, or one of us needs to open it and sort of peruse it and make sure that we're doing the steps.
Yeah.
So I will send that, and then this is town council's open meeting law and guidance of meeting minutes. To make sure that we're hearing anything we can do to help Chrissy create meeting minutes in a very efficient manner would be helpful. And then we will be,
It's a good summary that I read through it. It's pretty good.
we'll be meeting the requirements that we should. And then somewhere down the road, Chrissy, we might talk about the application, and I still think it can be streamlined a little bit.
Great.
I think what I'd like to do is have an application that gives them instructions, and then there are 3 forms. And they don't need to submit the instructions, they just need the 3 forms.
Yeah.
And
Try to throw the instructions away when they send it in with the forms, so.
yeah, and in the past, there was a lot of paper for only half of it was really needed.
Yeah.
All right, great.
Make a motion to close the meeting?
Is there a second?
Second?
Great, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, the meeting is now closed.